Good day, y'all. Good day. All right. Good day, everyone. Good day. Welcome. Welcome to Morning Sip with Rev Melissa. I am Rev Melissa, and I don't know why this box is around me. Let me see if I could get rid of this box. But today is a live show. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I have lots to share. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. So here we go. So welcome. Welcome to Morning Sip with Rev Melissa. I am Rev Melissa. And let me take a breath. It's good to be back live, y'all. It's good to be back live. It's a little dark. Turn that light on. See if y'all can see me a little better. I think that's a little better. So welcome. I am Rev Melissa, and this is Morning Sip, and SIP stands for Spirit in Practice, where we practice because practice makes progress. Practice makes progress. So my passion is to support people in transforming their lives, and I am here to support you. My mission is to give inspiration through spiritual life coaching, preaching, and teaching that that connects you to your yes, that ignites the divine spark within you so that you can live life in joy connected to your yes. So, welcome to today's show. Hey, Shay, it's good to see you. Blessings. Thank you to me and my aunt. I appreciate that so much, Shay, and thank you for reaching out and checking on me and for sending the energy and the love and all the things. Hey, say cool. Yes, yes, yes. I'm back. We're going to take it day by day, y'all. We're going to take it day by day. So we're just going to call today's show Aunt Marion. That's what we're going to call today's show. We're going to call today's show Aunt Marion, because that's what's up for me. That's what's up for me. And y'all know how I am. I am pretty transparent about what goes on in my life and how I am with it, whatever those things may be, because I just think it's important for me to share authentically and from my heart. And that's what I know to do. So that is what I do. And hopefully, something that I share will resonate with you. It may help you, support you, or even help you to see things from a different perspective. So, where do we begin? So let's start from what had happened. Right, Fee? I miss y'all so much also. I miss y'all so very much. But I felt the love. I felt the energy. So what had happened was last Sunday, we were having our in-person service at Rhino Comedy, our last service at that space. I was really excited about that and had a whole ritual that I was going to do at the end of the service. And Sekou Wrights was our guest speaker, and he was speaking about invest in respect. And so Fee King was there, my Rockland CSL family was there, and we were just getting ready to start the service when I got a mobile help alert. So it's the alert that goes off that indicates that something is going on with my aunt. Now, mind you, my aunt doesn't wear it, although I beg her to. She has a pendant she could wear around her neck. She has two watches that she could wear, a black one and a white one, so she could select, what color she wants to wear. She refuses to wear them, no matter how much I beg her. So I get this alert. We're getting ready to start service. I answer the phone. And actually, first my niece called me to say they got the alert also, and they called Aunt Marion and she didn't answer. But that's not unusual for my aunt. She does not answer the phone. The answer machine comes on, you say who you are, and then she determines if she wants to speak to you or not, and she will answer the phone. Usually when I call, she answers the phone. Um, when I say, "Hi, Aunt Marion, it's Melissa, pick up the phone." She usually picks up the phone. So my niece called, and then immediately after that, I get a call from the mobile help representative saying that the EMS has been dispatched to my aunt's apartment. So I am one of the things that happens to me, and I don't know if this happens for anyone else, but when things happen, I get really quiet and really calm. So, I don't know what that looks like to people who are there watching me. Maybe Sekou and Fee could tell me, but on the inside, I get really quiet and I get really calm, and I'm very focused, right? So I get in the car and I'm about an hour away from my aunt. Whew. So while I'm in the car driving to the Bronx, um, the mobile help people call me again and they tell me um that EMS is there. And I asked them, do they know what happened? So the only thing they could tell me was that they spoke to my aunt, which was a huge relief. That somehow she pressed the button, she told them she was on the floor, she couldn't get up, and they dispatched EMS. That's all they know. So a little bit later, the EMS people called me, and they said they were there. And at my aunt's apartment, I have on an envelope taped to the wall in the living room by her phone, and in her bedroom by her phone, my name and my phone number, and it says, "In case of emergency, call." And my numbers are there. And I just recently did that, y'all. I recently, like, let's say within the last month, I did that. So, EMS is saying that she is okay. She that she was on the floor overnight. They took her vitals. Her vitals were good, and she was refusing to go to the hospital. They said they couldn't see any visible injuries on her, and they can't make her go. They can't, forcefully take her to the hospital because she was not in any imminent danger or any health. Um, she wasn't having any health challenges that they could see. So they said, we'll try to wait for you to get here. And I was like probably like 45 minutes away still. So while I'm talking to the EMS people, somehow I start I'm driving to Jersey. Like, I don't know what happened, but I got off course and realized as I was speaking to them that I am now going into New Jersey. So I tell them, okay, let me focus on my driving. I'll get there as soon as I can. So I got myself back on track. They called me like a half hour later and they said, we can't wait any longer. We have to go. So I said, that's fine. I'll be there in like 15 minutes. So I get there and I go into the house and she is sitting on her recliner watching TV like nothing had happened. And I'm looking at her and she looks okay. En route, I called my sister and my mother was at my sister's house. So they came over with my niece. And so the four of us were there. And we were telling my aunt, we really think you should go to the hospital just to get yourself checked out. She was like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm fine. So we asked her what happened. She said that she was trying to get out of the bed and one leg was on the bed, one leg was off the bed, and she couldn't get the leg that was on the bed down. And so she decided to like slide herself down to the floor and get up from the floor. But when she got down on the floor, she couldn't get up. And she didn't have her mobile help device on. So she couldn't press for help. So she said she just stayed on the floor. I guess she fell asleep, and then at some point she woke up again, and she said she decided she was gonna crawl to where the panic button was. So she crawls across her bedroom and hits the panic button, and that's when she was able to, get someone from mobile help to bring, EMS. And that she feels fine now, that she didn't hit her head, she just, plopped down on the floor, and that was it. So, we I decided, well, we're just gonna stay here with you all day, keep an eye on you because we can't make her go. And we just started cleaning the house. So we started like throwing out stuff, organizing things. My aunt has a lot of stuff in her apartment. So we just started decluttering, doing the things. And so I stayed there until about midnight. So I got her to bed. My mother and my sister and my niece left earlier, and I told my aunt that I was going to stay until she went to sleep. So she said okay. So she got into bed around 10:30, and I had to help her get into the bed. So I said, okay, I'm married. Since I have to help you get into the bed, I'm going to come early tomorrow morning, and don't get out the bed until I get here because I didn't want her to fall while she's trying to get out the bed. So she said, okay. So I leave about midnight. She's sound asleep. I leave about midnight and I come back the next morning, and I come in the house and she is in the chair in the living room. So I'm like, Aunt Marion, I told you to stay in the bed until I get here. And she was like, I'm fine, right? So I said, well, guess what we're going to do today? We're going to the hospital. And she's like, I'm not going to the hospital. I'm like, Marion, you are going to the hospital. And this is the reason why I was insisting. The day before, when my sister and my mother and my niece were there, my sister helped her take a shower. And us cleaning up, I found a bag of really, really pretty pajamas. And my aunt usually wears big, bulky t-shirts and leggings. Like that's her uniform. Big t-shirt, leggings. And I found these really pretty pajamas. So I asked her if she wanted to put one of the pajamas on, brand new, tags on, the whole thing. And she said, "Oh, I forgot I had that." Yes, she wanted to put it on. So when she put it on, it was more close fitting to her body. And I noticed that her stomach was really bloated. And I never noticed that before. And so I asked her how long had her stomach been bloated like that. And she said, for a while. So that was concerning to me. And her legs were swollen. That was concerning to me. So I said, we're going to the hospital today. And she was like, she's not going. So she's in the chair, and I said, "Okay, well, get up so you could at least like get washed up and stuff." Because in my head, I'm like, "We're going to the hospital." So she can't get out the chair. Now somehow she got herself from the bedroom to the chair, but now she can't get up from the chair. So I'm thinking she's like playing around with me because she don't want to. She knows what I'm up to, and I'm figuring she's playing around with me, but she wasn't. So I said, "You really can't get up?" She said, "No." So I try to get her up, which of course I can't. And I said, "Okay, I'm Mary. I'm calling 911." So she said, "Okay." She didn't protest. She said, "Okay." So I call 911. They come, and I tell them she's I told them what happened the day before, but I was more so concerned about her belly being so bloated and the swelling in her legs. So I told them I wanted us to go to the hospital. They did all her vitals. They said everything was fine, but I said, no, we need to go to the hospital. So they take us to the closest hospital. So we get there, we're in emergency. And if anyone knows the healthcare system, when you're in the emergency room, good luck with the waiting. So because we arrived in an ambulance, it was a little different, thank goodness. So they saw my aunt right away. They checked her right away. But everyone was focused on the fact that she had fallen, which she hadn't the night before. And they had the trauma unit looking at her. And they were treating her as she had some kind of trauma. And I kept telling them, no, she didn't have any. She didn't fall. She slid down off the bed. And let me tell y'all, one of these doctors said to me, "Well, did you see her? Did you see her slide off the bed?" So I said, "If I saw her slide off the bed, do you think I would have let her stay on the floor overnight, doctor?" So I said, "No, I didn't see her. I wasn't there, but I believe what she's saying, that she slid down on the floor." Fine. So they want to keep treating it like a trauma. So I said, so they said, we're going to scan her head, her neck, her back. And I said, okay, y'all, while you're doing all this scanning, scan her abdomen because her abdomen is not like that normally. Something is going on. So scan her abdomen. So they said, okay. They scan her abdomen, they scan all the things, and they come back, and the whole story has changed now. Now everyone is singly focused on her abdomen. So I'm not going to put all my aunt's business out there, but it's concerning. Let me just say that. That is concerning. So now they're admitting her, which she was very upset about because she wanted to go home. Of course, who doesn't want to go home? And I kept explaining to her that they're concerned about what's going on in your abdomen and the swelling in your legs. So they're going to keep you until we get back some test results. And she said, okay. And she said, are you going to stay with me? Which makes me almost want to cry. And I said, of course, I'll stay with you. So we're still in emergency. We're waiting for a room because they're going to admit her. And I stayed the night with her in emergency. So that's Monday. So now we're in Tuesday morning. Still don't have a room, still waiting. And neither one of us slept. It was just so noisy. It was like impossible to sleep. So I had to go to a funeral. I'll tell you. So one of our dear friends' mother passed away. She would have been 99 years old on June 18th, and the funeral was on June 18th on her birthday. And it was a fabulous funeral. And so I went to the funeral, and my sister was supposed to go to the hospital while I was at the funeral. So I leave the funeral, call my sister. She's just on her way to the hospital. So I'm like, fine. So we get there around the same time, but they will only let one person up. So I told my sister, well, you go up. I'm going to go to Aunt Marion's house and get some sleep because I hadn't slept. So that's what we do. So my sister's with her for the day. And that evening, my sister's getting ready to leave. My aunt wanted some food. So I'm like going to get her food, going to, pick up a couple of things for her. And I get back to the hospital after visiting hours, which is at 8 o'clock. Visiting hours end. I didn't know that. And I had slept there the night before, so I didn't think it was going to be a problem. So I go into admissions where you have to go now after hours. And I tell them I want to go up to see Marion. And they say, well, visiting hours is over. And I'm like, I was just spent the night. Like, so I've been here after visiting hours. They was like, well, that was an emergency. She's in a unit now, and it's different rules once they're in a unit. And I said, well, I have some things for her. I have food for her. I need to just, take these things to her. And she said, I'm sorry, I can't let you up. So I'm taking deep breaths. And I said, okay, so how can we facilitate this happening? She said, well, I could call the floor, and if they let you up, then okay. I said, okay, fine, let's do that. So she calls the floor, and I could hear the person on the other line, right? And so she's telling them, her niece is here. She has some things for her. Can she come up? And the guy says no. And I could hear him through the phone. No, tell her to come during visiting hours. No, she can't come up. Right. So she gets off the phone and she says, I said, I heard him. So I said, okay, who else can I talk to? So she said, there's really nobody else you could talk to. It's after hours. I said, there's always someone else to talk to. She said, well, you could call upstairs and see if they'll let you come up. I tried. I said, okay. So she gives me the number. It's the same guy. I recognize the voice. Same guy. So he goes, didn't the admissions person just tell you no? So I said, "Yeah, she did." So he said, "Well, you have to come during visiting hours." And I was like, "Listen, I have food for her because she didn't like the food and she needs to eat, and I have a couple of her things. So all I want to do is just come up and give her her food, make sure she's okay, and then I'll leave." He says, "No, no, right?" So I said, "Is there someone else I could talk to?" So he's like, "No." I said, "There's always someone else that I could talk to." So he said, "Well, maybe her nurse will let you come up. I don't know." So he says, "Hold on." So he puts the phone down so I could hear him talking, right? So he's talking to the nurse and he's telling her, "I told her no, la, 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 all the things," right? So the nurse gets on the phone. I explain it to her. She tells me no. So I said, "Listen," and I go on to explain to her. I would love for her to put herself in my shoes, right? That she's in the business of taking care of people. And I support that 100%. All I want to do is come up, give my aunt some food, look at her, give her her things, and then I will leave, right? So she says, "Okay, 20 minutes." I said, "Thank you." So I go upstairs, and I know who the guy is because he comes right over to me and he goes, "You only have 20 minutes." And I said, I'm aware. Thank you very much." And he's just like a gnat. He's just like a gnat, right? So I'm speaking to him, and then he says, "Well, I know you don't want to waste your 20 minutes talking to me." And I said, "No, I really don't." So he walks away. So get my aunt situated. I feed her, do all the things and, sit with her for a little while. And she's just telling me that she's tired and she hasn't been able to sleep because now she has a cough. So I'm like, okay, let me find out about that. So we find out that there's something else going on with her lungs. And that's why she has this cough. So I'm like, okay. So my 20 minutes is up because they were clocking me, y'all, clocking me. So I said, "I'm Marion, I'll be back in the morning." And I left. So Wednesday, um, my husband and I, we do these like weekly check-ins with each other. And we hadn't done it because of everything that was going on. We usually do it on Mondays. And so we hadn't done it. So I said, "Why don't you get in the car and I'll drive you to the train near the hospital and we could do our check-in in the car." So I'm telling him everything that happened and I'm telling him what a hard time they gave me going up to see Aunt Marion. So he said, "Wait, she's at such and such hospital?" So I'm not going to name the hospital. "She's at such and such hospital." I said, "Yes." So he goes, "Oh, I went to college with the CEO there. I'll just call him." Right? So I said, "Wait, but have you seen him since college?" And he was like, "Yeah, we went to dinner last week." I was like, "Okay." So I drop off my husband. I could go on to the hospital. And by the time I get upstairs, everyone is staring at me. Right? And the nurse is like at my aunt's door, sitting there on her machine doing stuff. So I come in and she says, "Hi." She introduces herself. I introduce myself. And she said, "Okay, I know you're the niece." And I was like, "Yes," which was odd to me. And everybody was super duper nice, bending over backwards, whispering, right? And I was like, "What is happening?" So my husband texted me. He said he spoke to his friend, the CEO of the hospital, and everything is taken care of. I have unlimited 24-hour, 7-day access to my aunt. I could roll up in there anytime I want to, right? I was like, "Oh, that's what's happening right now." So the CEO made it his personal business to take care of this. So they want to know, someone asked, "How do you know the CEO?" Right? Of course, I don't answer that question. I like say something else. I don't even respond to it because Let it be a mystery, y'all. So I spent the day with my aunt. Everything was wonderful. Her nurse is wonderful, and I think she's just naturally wonderful. I don't think she was put on the act because of what happened with the CEO. She because I was seeing her with other patients, and she was just very caring, very loving, very present. So my aunt is still in the hospital. Um, there's so much more to the story. Even the guy who was not nice, because I was there after hours on Wednesday, and he came over and he said, because now it's a whole new group of people at night. So the daytime people got all the hoopla with the CEO. The nighttime people don't know anything that happened. So the guy, oh my goodness, I'm looking at the time. So the guy who was giving me a hard time about coming up at 8 o'clock, he comes over to me. He says, visiting hours are over. You have to leave. Right. And I was like, no, I have 24/7 access. And he was like, no, you don't. And I was like, oh, yeah, I do. Go check your system. Right. So he goes off in a huff and he's like, no, you don't. Right. So I go out and I'm standing in front of the counter looking at him. And I said, you should really check. So he's like, I don't see anything, right? He said, you're Melissa Moore Nobles? I said, yes. And he was like, I don't see anything. I said, you should check. He said, well, who gave you access? Who gave you authority? Do you have the paper? It's some paper. I said, I don't have no paper. So he said, well, who gave you access? So I said, the CEO, but I said his name. And he was like, the CEO? I said, yes. He was like, his whole face changed. So then he calls, I guess, I don't know who he calls, and they're telling him whatever, and he's going, "Oh, okay. Okay. All right, I see. Okay." Right? So he goes, "So it wasn't pushed through. It was still in admissions. It didn't get pushed through. I'm so sorry. I didn't see it." Right? I said, "Ah, it didn't get pushed through, huh?" He was like, "No, they didn't push it through, so I didn't see it in my screen." I said, "Okay, you see it now?" He said, "Yeah, I see it now." I said, "Yeah, good." And I just walked away. So so his whole demeanor has changed also. And I guess there's gonna be a part two because there's so much more about this whole situation that I'm learning about myself. That I'm learning about myself. How do we how do we manage stressful situations? What do we do? What do we stop doing? Because I'll tell y'all, today, this started on Sunday. Today was the first day that I did my spiritual practice. Yeah, yeah. Me, the one that's always saying, do your daily spiritual practice. Today was the first day I did my full spiritual practice. I've been praying all day, every day, all day, right? And have other folks praying and sending love and light. And I ask that you all send love and light to my aunt as well. And so that you have a visual of her, I found this picture of her. I'm going to put it up. That's my Aunt Marion. So if you're on Instagram, you can't see the picture, but go on YouTube or Facebook and you can see her. Please send love and light, healing energy to my Aunt Marion. I love her with all my heart. Please send love and light for her complete healing because I believe in the power of prayer. I believe that we are one. I believe that we are all connected. I believe that healing happens like that. So that's my request. There's so much more. Next week, I'll share my learnings from all of this because there's been several things that have come up for me in this whole situation that is continuing. So I'm taking this day by day, y'all. Sometimes there might be replays, sometimes I might be on live, but my priority right now is to be as present to my aunt as I can to be a advocate for her. Because if you're in the hospital, if you have people in the hospital, you have to advocate for them. The hospital has to know that that person has people. It's just the way that it is. right? It is just the way that it is. So be as present as you can. Ask for support, which is one of the things that I'm challenged with, that I'm getting better with. Ask for support. Yesterday, other family was there, so I just took the day and just kinda chilled and got some sleep and went to an event with my husband and my girls last night at the Schaumburg to kick off the 50th anniversary for Harlem Week that my husband helps to coordinate. And afterwards, like 9 o'clock, I said, let's stop by the hospital. So I stopped by because I got 24/7 access. So I stopped up and checked on her, and she was happy to see me. And everybody was like, hi, Miss Nobles. And I was like, hey, y'all, you know, but it's a whole new group of people. So that's the other thing. There's always new people there. So I'm always very nice. I'm always respectful. I don't get into arguments with people. I just don't. Like that's not my thing anymore because there was a time, let me tell you, there was a time. Sekou could tell you stories about Melly Raw Dog, and sometimes she rears her head, but most of the time she's sleeping. So I guess that's what I wanted to share today. There's so much more, and I will continue this next week. I thank you all who tuned in last night for meditation with the full moon. That was a replay. It was the strawberry moon, and it was from 2022. But I chopped it up, and hopefully it resonated with everybody. It was focusing on the body, which I thought was perfect given everything that's happening right now with my aunt, and I'm gonna play it for her when I go to the hospital today and see if she'll do the meditation. So that's what's up right now. I'm way over time. I see you all, and Sekou's confirming. Yes, I was really quiet. He said, "I you were so quiet." Yeah, that's how I respond in those types of situations. Very in. I go very in, and I just settle in, you know? I don't know where that comes from, but that's my response to those types of situations. And I am finding trust and finding grace in all of this, even at a deeper level. So thank you all again. My intention is to be back live on Tuesday. um, this weekend is Rockland Centers for Spiritual Living. Our services are virtual, and I'm going to wrap it up here. But thank you all so, so very much. I so appreciate you all. And I'll end with Fee saying, yes, yes, be kind and patient with Melissa. I was just there with my cousin. I understand exactly where you are. You're such a blessing to her. Thank you, Fee. Thank you, Linda. Thank you all so very much. Please continue to keep my Aunt Marion in your prayers. Please continue to send her love and light. I believe that it works. I just do. And I know that it does. And I'll report back next week. So, peace and blessings, everybody. Peace and justice, love and light. Live life in joy, connected to your yes.